I'm kind of happy that I didn't look into this because you're probably going to give us really good context on what the fuck is actually going on. But I have been seeing it a lot about Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey.
So just looking at a little bit of context, niggas are getting canceled for pride.
This is not for pride. I think this is pure stupidity. I'm not on the side.
Okay.
But what basically happened is he decided to voice his opinion. He decided to go the hyper Christian route.
Oh boy!
And he used that to kind of bash gay people, bash Pride Month, and bash the NBA supporting Pride. And he played for the Chicago Bulls.
Okay, there we go.
And they let his ass go.
I saw it go sometime.
But it looks like he's going through something mentally.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So
okay,
because the way he's crashing out, it just seems like, why would you throw it all away for saying something that you don't have to say?
So that's the thing about being such a, I guess I don't want to use the word idol, but public figure. That's the word I'm looking for. That's the thing about being a public figure is like you do have to keep your conversations and opinions to like a pretty fucking close circle. So and like even your close circle isn't always that safe because there's a lot of times where you'll see blogs and things like that.
There's Donald Sterling. What happened with Donald Sterling, the owner of the Clippers? He was recorded saying racist things, and he was recorded by his a girl he was seeing at the time, and they fired him. He was like a super billionaire and he owned the Clippers, and they had to force him to sell the team because he got caught saying a bunch of racist shit on camera. On a recording.
Yeah, so it's like you always have to be so careful about what you say, even if it's with your close circle, because that shit can always get leaked out. All it takes is one little conversation with someone's little friend or someone's
when
little
you're being
girlfriend.
Represented by Disney, by the NBA, by all these big corporations, you have to keep that in mind and you have to act accordingly. You just know that this is a privilege to have this opportunity to make that amount of money, and you have to act accordingly. And like Paul Pierce got fired for being on Instagram Live dancing with strippers. Okay. And he went
no way.
Yeah. And he was working for ESPN at the time. And they fired him because ESPN is partly owned by Disney, and like you have to have a pretty pristine image. Shannon Sharp got fired from ESPN
for the whole OnlyFans girl thing.
You know what I'm saying? These big corporations, they don't play.
This is why I think that like it's good that I didn't go to the NFL, because I feel like some shit I would have said, I would have just.
I think you would have been fine.
I would. So I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think you say things that crazy.
You think with our track record, you think we could work at ESPN right now? After everything that we've said so far in the 17 episodes of Chat2Much podcast, plus your Facebook, account.
I don't think so.
We're not big enough. We can scrub all that shit.
Facts. We can delete it before anyone finds out.
Facts.
But anyways, yeah, we'll play this video here.
They said my conduct is detrimental to the team, right? Why didn't they just say we don't agree with his stance on LGBTQ? Why didn't they say that? Well, how is it conduct detrimental to the team? What did I do to the team? What did I do to the players? I did nothing but practice with them, play with them, pass the ball to them, good teammate to them. Said good job, good shot. I said good job, good pass, way to play, bro. Right? I said these things to my teammates. It was never detrimental to them. So why is it that the NBA and the Chicago Bulls say that I'm detrimental to the team?
Okay, sorry. I just want to say something before that. It's like, bro, like everything that you're saying, fam, everything.
I passed him the ball, fam. I said good shot.
My nigga, everything he's saying, it's like, I'm a good driver. I stop at red lights. It's like, shut the fuck up, bro.
You're a good driver. You stopped at red light, but you just hit this old lady. Well, I stop at red lights.
Yeah, fam. It's like, bro, you have to realize that like everybody that's on your team is a direct association with you. So if they just like let the shit go that you were saying, then it's like that kind of also reflects on them as a person. Letting that be acceptable.
This is bigger. This whole
take that shit lightly,
but this whole situation is bigger than relationships. It's bigger than one person.
Exactly.
If there's one gay person on the Chicago Bulls organization or the NBA, which there surely is, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Niggas are not gonna hold for that. And if it was like some other like racist shit, I would have the same standpoint.
Yeah.
How? Because I believe in the truth. I know Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. These things will happen in the Word of God. They hated Jesus Christ. that the world can proclaim LGBTQ. Right? They proclaim Pride Month and the NBA. They proclaim it. They show it to the world. They say, come join us for Pride Month, to celebrate unrighteousness. They proclaim it.
How much do you think that there's a mental health episode going on?
I don't think that there's a mental health episode going on because I grew up around Christians that are very strong in terms of their opinions about LGBTQ and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's not foreign to me. Like, he kind of reminds me of my cousin, I'm not gonna lie. You were there when we were having a conversation, so yeah.
Jeez. I just feel like there's time and place to say certain things, and you just need to know when to say it.
Yeah,
So you could think that, but it's the same thing as like, yo, you seen what they did to the baby?
Yeah, bro.
They will cancel you. So it's like, you could believe all you want. Nobody cares. But it's just like, yo, you just know you can't say that.
Yeah.
Same with Kanye with certain Jewish shit. You just know you can't say that. Or else there's going to be consequences. Whether you believe that you're justified in saying it or not, there will be consequences. So just don't say it.
Have you seen that video? I can't remember who the baby was talking to, but he was, I think it was with Gillian Wallow. And he was talking about like, like when shit was hot, like my bookings were like all the way up to like 300K, 400K.
Now it's at like 30K.
And then he was like, after I said that gay shit, he was like, bro, that shit dropped down to like 30 bands. He was like, I still took it. Pause. I still took those shows, but like that just goes to show you, like, you know, one little thing that you say, even if it's not in your mind something crazy, it's crazy to everybody else,
and fuck up your fucking brand.
And then there goes your pockets, yo.
You know what my question is, like, do you think that the people around him knew that he was that level of like a devoted, like kind of almost basically a crash out?
I feel like he was having a mental health crisis.
You think so? Because I feel like growing up with some people, you're just like, bro.
You think your cousin would say that in the NBA?
100%. 100% he'd say that kind of shit, bro.
For how he like disassociated with you in his fashion, I do think he would.
But aside from pride, like it's literally stupidity.
But that comes with pride.
So exactly. So that's the thing is like
stupidity
they're willing
comes
to.
With pride.
You're so proud about it that you're willing to make stupid decisions.
They're willing to compromise their
whole entire family
image,
legacy,
their image and how people look at them because of their own beliefs.
Yeah, because that's stupid.
It is. It totally is.
Shout out to our Christian community. Shout out, watch us.
I think even Christians could believe it's stupid, though. I think that Christians could believe it's stupid because I feel like it's like I don't feel like all Christians are homophobic.
No.
I don't feel like all Christians are homophobic, and I don't feel like every Christian's going to agree with his statements on pride.
What was his statement? Is that part of like what we're going to look at?
That was what we already looked. That was the last slide we just watched was his statement.
That was it?
Yeah.
He didn't he just said that he was basically just disagreeing with it. And he said like it's been like,
if you disagree with somebody's way of life, it's like this is, we already know how that goes, bro. You can't, if you're trying to disagree.
I guess my point is that mindset is not uncommon. It's like,
but it's not accepted.
It's not accepted by the general public, but in the Christian community, at least in the Christian community that I grew up in, that is not an uncommon sentiment. That is actually a very, very common sentiment.
This is not the Christian community. But in the Jamaican community, I could talk about gay people all the time.
Yeah, but okay, the point is like some people believe so heavily in what they're saying that like again, he's calling it the truth.
What does that have to do with him working for the NBA and vocalizing that?
In his standpoint, he believes that he should be able to stand for what he believes is the truth, and like anything that goes against that is like oppressive forces and like shit like that. That's why I don't think it's a mental breakdown. I just think that he's very passionate about what he believes is the truth.
I feel like if he's that passionate, he should pursue a job in being like a preacher or something, or
probably
a pastor
would eventually.
Because working for a large corporation that is not that doesn't support homophobia wouldn't be the wisest decision for him if he just can't help but shut his mouth for millions of dollars.
Yeah, facts.
You know, so I think that he's foolish. What it says over here on the screen, it says, so if players disagree with Pride Month, it's conduct detrimental to the team and they get fired. How is this not Christian discrimination? Homophobia shouldn't be tolerated in society. Ivy needs to apologize and get the proper help he needs. I agree with that. Jaden Ivey could have waited until it was Pride Month. At least he was just thinking about gay niggas on a Monday. Facts though.
Yo, that's fucking
Go to the next
hilarious.
Oh, it's the Chicago Bulls announced that they have waived him. Go back to 2 slides over. It says NBA teams have kept players on their rosters who have beat a woman, have arrested over drugs or DUI, been accused of rape, and who've been in public sexual deviancy dramas, but they drew the line today and waived Jaden Ivey for voicing a Christian view opposing LGBTQ pride events. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
So the one thing I'll say is all the other stuff that they talk about. I hate to say it, but it's like it's almost kind of normalized in a
Unfortunately,
way.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So because like gay discrimination is such a like I wouldn't say fresh thing that people are controversial about, but the way that it's handled is a lot more black and white compared to like someone getting a DUI, someone beating their.
I think the difference is a lot of these things are accusations.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
A lot of them is like if there's I've seen mans get let go from the NBA for beating a woman. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If there was complete proof, if there was video and stuff like that, mans will get let go from that. Yeah. People will be let go for drug use. Also, it has to do with how good and valuable you are to the league. No, most of us don't know who Jaden Ivey is. Is it that hard to let him go?
That's very true.
You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
And like I said, been accused of grape. If you're accused of grape, that's an accusation. It's if they've been convicted of grape, that's completely different. And who've been in public sexual deviancy dramas. Who cares about their deviancy dramas? Yeah.
So I kind of want to play a little bit of devil's advocate with this in the sense that
surprise.
I think one of the biggest counterpoints to this whole thing is that it feels like an overcorrection in a sense, where it's just like you can't have a difference of opinion. If not, you are at risk of losing your livelihood. And it's like, wow, like a nigga can't because okay, niggas can disagree with Christianity, talk shit about Christianity, all that shit publicly, and nothing will happen.
Give me an example.
Huh?
Give me an example of in the NBA or someone working for a major corporation denouncing or disrespecting Christianity and gets away with it with no pushback. There's certain things they tell you not to talk about when you're on that type of stage.
I haven't thought about it in terms of like NBA level, like talking about that shit.
That's what it is. This is all business. That's all it is. And that's why I'm saying that as a business is like we could try to personalize it and try to make it seem like, oh yeah, he should have the right to say what he wants. Then he has the consequences against him. At the end of the day, look at this. When Kyrie Irving wanted to say things about Jewish people during the pandemic and then he wasn't able to play.
Yeah.
In the league, they shut him down. And Kyrie Irving is one of the greatest talents that we've ever had in the NBA. But they even shut down Kyrie Irving for not taking the vaccine and for his comments on the Jewish shit, right? Mm-hmm. They were canceling him for that. So if they're going to do that to Kyrie Irving, all of it shows is just that, like, yo, when it comes to business, there's certain people with certain interests that you can't disrespect. Yeah. At the end of the day. I don't like how you're framing it as if he's just disagreeing with certain gay shit. At the end of the day, call it what it is, bro. That is homophobia.
Yeah, but again, like
you're acting like it's being wrong. It's like saying that it's wrong to have like a Pride Month or everything. Like I get it, like especially with the culture that I come from. I understand where he was coming from, but understanding the other side and why that could be offensive, that 100% is offensive.
Mm-hmm. No, there's like we're not disagreeing with the fact that it's offensive to the other side, but it's like the fact that he loses his livelihood for that. I can understand people protesting against that. Because again, like we can argue about, this is the status quo. It's been established like this. Slavery was a status quo that was established. Niggas still protested against it and got rid of it. So like him getting the consequences of that action, that's fine and dandy. But I also think that it's fine for them to protest against that.
I don't think that it's wrong for them to let him go for that.
Yeah, but at the same time, everybody
people could protest about whatever the fuck they want. People protest over stupid shit all the time. Nothing is going to happen from their protest. They're not even protesting. What the fuck is going to happen? Do you think that anybody agrees? Do you think that anybody's going to
look at the comments and be like, damn, maybe we did not need to let him go?
Okay,
Yeah,
so like,
like,
so the idea is like maybe not in this exact scenario.
You got to pick your battles, bro. This is not the battle that you want to fight in terms of Christianity, trying to act like, yeah, we got to fight for this guy to be back in the league because he didn't do anything wrong. He did do something wrong. He did say something wrong that even though it's expected, even though that you could debate whether it is wrong or right, depending on your point of view, I would land on the side of that he shouldn't have said that shit and he should have been aware of the consequences and that you actually did offend people and what you said was inherently hateful. So if somebody was to say something that was racist, I wouldn't want you to have that same type of empathy towards him. You know what I'm saying? Because like, hey, if one of us were gay, it would probably be you. But like, I'm just saying that like, a gay person would probably be offended.
We're getting canceled.
They'll be offended if someone said that. Like, I think that like, yo, you can't say that. I literally think Steph Curry's mad Christian. He shoots a three and he kisses up to God. He's mad Christian. You don't ever hear him saying homophobic shit. You could be Christian without being homophobic. You don't have to denounce pride, bro. Even if you disagree with it. I don't agree with the way a lot of pride shit.
Okay.
I don't think the way that they have naked people running around on the streets, I hate that shit.
Dicks hanging out and shit.
I hate that shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I was working in the NBA, I would shut the fuck up. Time and place, bro. Look, he wasn't at a press conference. He was sitting in his fucking car deciding to share his thoughts to the internet about his homophobia. Stupid.
Yeah, it was definitely a bad decision. But I guess like
it was a deserved decision.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of zooming out in terms of feeling like I have to what's the word? I have to conform. I have to conform to a status quo because it is a status quo. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna suffer the consequences of going against that status quo, but I believe that if there is enough of people like me, that status quo is going to swing. That was like, there was a time period. There was a time period that niggas got killed, niggas got canceled for like being like being LGBTQ. But because enough people like protested against that status quo, now we have a space where you can be openly,
but you have to remember,
but that was wrong for them to do that.
Yeah, so like
that was wrong for them to do that. So are you trying to say that there's the right?
No, but I'm saying like the argument that don't go against things that have been established, don't go against shit like that because they have been established that way and you'll suffer consequences for it.
It's been It's not that it's being established that way and you will suffer consequences for it. It's because it is wrong and inherently hateful.
So would you have told a person that wanted to come out like about their sexuality in a time period where it was wrong to come out about your sexuality, would you have told them to shut the fuck up and not say anything about it?
Wait. Hold on. We're talking about objectively wrong or right. I could say that when you're being hateful towards somebody for something that they can't control, that is wrong. When we're talking about somebody back in the day, them just saying it was wrong because they didn't agree with gay shit, that wasn't wrong. I would tell them to not come out if it's against your safety. If it's going to be like, yo, it's going to affect your safety and your livelihood, don't come out. Okay. But if it's just like you want to live your truth and it's not going to affect you physically or it's not going to be a total detriment to your life, then come out of the closet. Yeah. It's not, back then it wasn't about like, I don't think that like being gay in terms of being wrong or not is, you can't compare that to the way you're describing it in this generation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like, I just don't see any way you could really, especially with you being so empathetic. I just don't understand.
No. See, the thing is, like, I have nothing against like LGBT community. Like, I actually kind of
clearly,
you know what I mean. But I'm just kind of zooming out in terms of like justifying, like people like keeping their mouth shut and not expressing the way that they feel about things because the status quo is that.
But he can express the way he wants. He just has to accept the consequences.
That's kind of why I brought up the example where we can both like agree that it was wrong for them to be oppressed. Like someone who is like a homosexual coming out about the fact that they're homosexual and suffering the consequences of that because that's the status quo. We can agree that that's wrong. So that should not like, if we're going to say that it's wrong for the status quo to oppress them in that situation, we shouldn't just then justify like the actions of the status quo.
Him getting fired?
No. like basically my point is like, don't justify it because it's the status quo. We can just say that, you know what, like
I didn't justify it because it's status quo. I said it's wrong. I said it was hateful.
no, but you said that like this is a business, it's the NBA, like you can't,
that's just
like when
more
you're
other
when you're,
points.
yeah, but I'm saying that like that point, like we shouldn't kind of hold that as a rule because there have been times where that, like the establishment
I
has
think
been
you're
wrong.
focusing on the wrong part, though. I feel like you're like kind of reaching to the point of contention because at the end of the day, I did say that it's hateful. You know what I'm saying? I gave all the reasons why it would be wrong. Me giving other reasons towards why it was a bad decision is not saying that like, oh yeah, it's not saying what you're trying to say. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying? I think that yes, it was a bad decision and it was wrong.
Okay,
in my opinion.
Okay.
You know, and also I just think that, we should do what's smart. We should make the smart decisions.
At the end of the day, you're a public figure. You know, you chose to join the NBA. You chose to sign the contract and so on and so forth. And, you have a obligation to not say certain things.
And you said certain things.
You said certain things. So now your privileges have been revoked. And that is deserving.
And now you're living like Rooks. Fired. You guys can relate. Holy shit.
You chat too much. Chat too much. Chat too much. Chat too much.